Okay. Good evening to you. Got my water now. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Diane. Okay, you can hear me and see me. Thank you, Michelle. That's all I needed. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. It's been super chill here today in San Diego. We're at the beach today, and it's always a good place to be to cool off a little bit. We've been out in the back country, and it's a lot warmer there. What's going on, Tony? Tony, you guys, we went from like a couple cats and kittens to now Tony's just like, Tony, you took us to another level. We have like 8 cats now, you guys. It's a whole new world out there. All right, Jim, what's going on? Victoria, great to see you. Okay, let's talk about the bread and butter. The bread and butter is life. Our digestive enzyme probiotic, our full spectrum plant enzyme. The thing that really started it all, you know, for Tylene and I want to make sure you know how simple life is, right? How simple it is to share with people. And really, I want you to understand why it's so necessary for us all to be taking these full spectrum plant-based digestive enzymes. All right, let's talk first about cooked food versus fresh food, or food that's alive, fresh and living food. And I want you to know at about 116, 118 degrees, somewhere in that area, based on different research, when we heat our food, we kill the life force of the food, which typically you'll hear enzymes being the life force of something. Certainly, remember, enzymes are proteins, but when you heat it, you kill it. And you know, the analogy I like to always say is, take an apple, take a banana. You know, if you bite an apple and the air hits it, right, you know, all of a sudden it's going to start to turn brown. If you have a real apple, that is, right? The enzymes activity starts to go to work. A banana, you leave a banana on the counter too long, what happens? It gets real dark and soft. It starts oozing out of the sides if you leave it there long enough, because the life force of the banana is kind of starting to digest itself, right? It starts breaking itself down. And that's very different than, say, you know, if you eat that banana or that apple, it's all good. Your body's like, oh, this is cool. I know what to do with these nutrients. I know what to do to break it down, how to absorb it. It recognizes it. It's fresh and living. You heat that banana and you make banana cream pie, which is super tasty, or apple pie, let's say. Now it's dead. So now that's where having these digestive enzymes to break down that cooked or heated food so your body can absorb it, utilize it, process it out of the body, whatever it doesn't want to use at that particular time. So life gives life because we want to recognize that our food is dead when we heat it and cook it. We're all, you know, 99% of us are going to eat some form of heated or cooked food. Very tough for people to be raw foodists, as we've talked about or mentioned in the past. We've done that. It's okay. It's super cool. But I also like to eat some really tasty things that are heated and cooked. And I know that my body needs the help to do so. And here's what it's all about, you guys. We've got our pancreas. We've got our digestive enzymes in the body. And the mystery really is, when at birth, where did we start our life out with? You know, how much of our little bank account of these enzymes do we have? And as we deplete those enzymes, as our body stops producing, let's say, as many of those specific enzymes, now we start to have some issues eating certain foods. As an example, maybe dairy. If you know anyone who's lactose intolerant, basically all that's happened is they've ran out of the enzyme lactase. So now they can no longer break down their milk sugars. So when they eat dairy or ice cream or whatever, they can get that really uncomfortable feeling. So that's what we're talking about. In your body has started to, I guess, lessen its ability to break specific food groups down. You start to get very uncomfortable depending on what type it is. Maybe you don't even feel it. You know, you would feel not breaking down or digesting your milk sugars, but you don't necessarily feel not breaking down your proteins to an amino acid right away. That could take a long, long time before it starts to catch up to the body. It could be fats that your body's not processing or breaking down completely. It could be sugars. It could be carbohydrates. It could be anything. And so the beauty about life is Tylene's done all the work for us. That research has been done. That formulation, that product, it's going to digest a Thanksgiving meal. Meaning any food group, all food groups, it's going to break it down completely. If it's a food group, it will handle it, which is super cool. Don't get confused with enzymes and probiotics. So many people will say, oh, I already take a probiotic. That's because they kind of think that they're the same thing. They're not. Enzymes break things down, right? They break things down into the smallest usable molecule for us to process and to absorb. Probiotics, that's friendly gut bacteria, right? That we're talking about when it comes to probiotics. So they're two different things. So the primary focus in the Life product is the enzymes. Okay, not that the probiotics aren't relevant and important, they are. And that's a really special thing that we have both those stabilized probiotics, which means they don't need to be refrigerated, and all these plant enzymes in one tiny little vegetarian capsule. And remember, that capsule is just a delivery system. So some people might want to open that little vegetarian capsule up and sprinkle it right into their mouth. They might want to sprinkle it, some people sprinkle it on their food. We've had restaurants who buy these Life enzymes and they'll marinate their meat, they'll tenderize their meat. And some, we've had restaurants, even pizza places, that have sold enzymes at the counter. So when people, or they even deliver them with a delivery on a pizza so people can break their food down more. So there's a lot of different things that people do with these enzymes, but it's really, really super simple. Keep it simple, you guys. Heated and cooked food is dead. That's okay. We just need to help our body break it down. So as we age, we do start depleting these little bank account of these enzymes. But again, remember, the mystery is, where did we start life out? You know, and when we came down to this planet to be, and we started living our life, at what point do we start depleting specific groups of enzymes, types of enzymes? We don't know. We don't know because we don't have like this measurement of all these different enzymes that we start our life with. Now, what happens is some of them, like as I mentioned, you feel, and some of them you don't. But regardless, you can trace back really anything that doesn't go real well health-wise. Most of the time you can trace back these diseases, almost always, to some form of inflammation or something that, if it started with food, it went wrong over a period of time, right? It's not like you're going to go eat some big burger right now and that's the end of you. But you eat these big burgers and all these hard things to digest every single day, or it could be pizza, it could be burritos, it could be whatever type of food. When you do that, you're going to struggle a little bit because the body just can't keep up. It doesn't process that as well. So keep in mind, super simple, just take one or two of these Life full spectrum plant-based digestive enzymes at the beginning of a meal would be ideal. There's a lot of research that goes with anti-aging if you take it at that time. If you forget to take it when you're eating, you still have about a 15-minute window or so, 20-minute, whatever, after your meal. You can still take it. You can also take the Life enzymes away from food and use them systemically. And that's really going to go through as we kind of, if you remember back from the Restore training, the enzymes are going to go out throughout the body. It's going to clean up the blood. Right? That's what you wanted, that old Pac-Man game. It's going to go in there and look for undigested matter that's floating around in the bloodstream. It's going to go clean that up. And that's what you want. You want your blood clean. You want your river of life clean. You want to have nutrients delivered to the brain. You know, so many people talk about all the different brain issues out there right now. Well, look, if we're eating good nutrient-dense food, you would think our brain's going to get fed. Well, if your body can't break down those nutrients and deliver, your red blood cell deliver those, right, as it's traveling through the body to the brain, it's going to be very difficult. So we become depleted on certain nutrients, let's say, based on our food, our diet, etc. And food is different. So you see the pudding demonstration, right? You guys, that's the best way, by the way. That little visual, Tylene and I built a multi-million-dollar business off of pudding demonstrations. You should be doing pudding demonstrations all the time, every single day. You should have puddings with you at all time, certainly on social media. Just do the pudding demonstration. Show people that it's not about the pudding. The pudding is just an example of something cooked and processed, and just stir it up and let them see it in 45 seconds or so how it works. They'll see that it is breaking down this cooked and processed food, and not that a pudding is super nutrient dense. It isn't, but whatever nutrient value is there, the body's going to take. And the beauty of it is it's also going to help the body process out what it doesn't want to utilize and absorb at that time. You don't want it floating around, right? You don't want it to become toxic in the body, in the blood, or what have you. It's super cool. It's super simple. And don't worry about being an expert. No one needs to be an expert. You need to know that if you cook your food and eat it, it's dead. And you can say, well, Sean, my grandparents didn't take digestive enzymes. Why should I? Well, your grandparents probably ate very differently than we do from a nutrient value in the food. Maybe not as much cooked food or processed food. And when I say heated or cooked, I'm also including processed, because that stuff's dead. And you have to remember, think of the average American breakfast, let's say. A couple eggs, maybe, some toast, I don't know, some bacon or sausage or hash browns, some orange juice, pasteurized. It's all dead. Everything I just mentioned there is dead. That's a complete 100% dead meal. That's not good. Life gives life. So maybe swap some of that out, just so you know, you want to eat a little healthier. Maybe have some sliced tomatoes or avocados mixed in. If you're an oatmeal person, something like that. Put a cup of blueberries or something in there. Now you got a fresh living food, right? And you've got that heated cooked food. Not that maybe you're eating really good oats, but you're giving yourself some fresh food. Eating more of these. I love eating my apples every day. I have to have my apples. The old doctor, apple a day keeps a doctor away. I believe that. I certainly believe that. And so when you're eating apples, as opposed to, say, these are not mine. Got a lot of grandkids running around here right now. Cookies, right? That's a tasty little treat. But even with this is completely dead. You still want to take an enzyme. Okay, so it's not just when you eat a meal. It could be a protein bar, a snack bar. It's every single time you're consuming something. Are you giving to the body where it doesn't need help? Or are you taxing the body, right, where it's looking for some kind of help? And so I just want to really, really encourage you is every time that food you're eating, if it's not fresh and living, we take enzymes. I take, for me personally, Tylene and I use 2 at every meal. If it's a bigger meal, I'll take 3 or 4. And I always do, earlier I said it'll digest a Thanksgiving meal. And if you ever think back to Thanksgiving and you eat all this food, it's really tasty and delicious, and then most people just want to go lay down, watch some football, do something, take a nap. Well, what you can do when you're taking life, you can run around and go play football if you want, because you're getting energy. And that's why we're eating. We're supposed to eat to live, get energy from our food. That's what this is all about. So that's the basic principle of why you're taking these plant-based full-spectrum digestive enzymes, and also understand that having those little bit of stabilized probiotics in there, it's a beautiful combination together. That's your friendly gut bacteria, right? And that's just a little maintenance supply of this gut bacteria every time you're taking life, which is super cool because, our immune system, 70-80% is in the gut. So we want to make sure we're taking care of that, not just, the fact that the enzymes are breaking the food down. You guys, this is the same message we've said for 20 years. Nothing has changed. People have just, they're a lot more open, let's say. People are more awake now. We've always been telling people, you got to wake up, you got to wake up. And here we are 20 years later, same message, same thing. And it is what it is. And so here I am now 56 years old, feeling more amazing than I've ever felt in my life. You know, God could take me today. That's not my choice, right? I don't know the plan, but I do want to be the best version of me, and you can be the best version of you, and you can help others be the best version of themselves. This is not difficult. It is so simple. Yes, it might be a new little habit, but let me tell you what, it is so much easier to prevent health issues than to fix health issues. And so prevention is the key. Don't ever eat, if it were up to me, anything heated or cooked without your little Life Digestive Enzymes, small little vegetarian capsules. Yes, pregnant women take them. The elderly take them. If the baby is colic, sometimes if they go from breast milk to formula and they get colicky and their baby's not happy, it's because they're uncomfortable, you guys. They can't digest that formula. No problem. Just open up a little Life capsule and pour half. Start with just one, maybe half, and see if that happens. What happens is going to happen. I'll tell you what happens. I've seen it hundreds of times. The baby stops crying. That's because all of a sudden it can break down those milk sugars and everything else that's in that formula. So there's so many different uses that people can do. The little ones, little children, little toddlers, they like to have their Life enzymes. And if they have a problem, obviously taking a capsule, you can open it up and sprinkling it on something, I don't know, like applesauce. Just don't leave it there too long, because if the little one doesn't eat the applesauce, the enzyme, the Life capsule will, right? Because it's going to start breaking that down. It's just very supportive and very helpful. I want to make sure I'm not... Speaking of the pudding demonstration, I'm telling you, do the pudding. Pudding. Just do it. You guys, everyone says, Sean, how did you guys get Steve Nash from the NBA and, you know, these NFL guys and this basketball team and, you know, the San Antonio Spurs and the San Jose Sharks? How did you get all these people to use some of these whole food supplements that you guys have been teaching about? I said, pudding demo. Everything was from pudding demonstrations. That's all you need, you guys. And so don't miss the power. The proof is in the pudding. We've been saying that forever. It's really, really simple. It's a visual. It'll help people understand. Let them know if you're using chocolate pudding. You might want to use vanilla. I don't know. That it's not going to make them run and go to the bathroom. Okay? That's not what this is all about. It may help someone be more regular, which is super cool because poop's really important. And if someone says, you could hear this too, I don't poop as much now. Most likely, if you hear that, it's because their body's finally absorbing certain nutrients that it wasn't able to absorb before. That's super cool. That's okay. I mean, it's everything's about absorption, no matter what you're putting into your body. It's not, you know, you hear people say you are what you eat. No, you are what you digest. Obviously, eating better food for you is going to do more for you than eating something, you know, something that's not going to help you as much. But they're tasty. I'm not telling you to eat perfect, but just make sure you're getting enough digestive enzymes when you're eating. And you don't want to use, you have other enzymes. I'll do another more deeper training I could later. You have metabolic enzymes in your body. Those are meant to fight disease, help you heal injuries. You don't want to waste those on digesting a meal. And the body's really smart, and it'll start to utilize those if you don't have enough digestive enzymes going on. So this research goes all the way back to the 1930s, the majority of it. This is not something Tylene just made up. This has been around quite some time, and if you know Tylene and I, or if you don't, we've been doing this a long time. This is not the latest and greatest thing that someone just found under a rock on some planet somewhere. That's not what this is all about. This is truly about helping people help themselves with their health, to be very preventative, and to help the body maybe reverse some things and put some things back into place if some issues have started to go wrong. Keep in mind, when you clean your blood, it's amazing when your blood's flowing and it's clean. You know, you see people have to go on medications because their blood's so thick and sticky and dirty. They put them on blood, thinning medications. Well, enzymes clean the blood. So it's cool that they go onto a blood thinner because now their blood flows, but it's still dirty blood. I would rather have enzymes clean my blood. Now I have clean blood and my blood's flowing, right? Doesn't that make more sense? This is not complicated. This is super simple. I have no idea what time it is because my phone's not telling me. Let's see. Maybe I can get someone to see how long I've been on here. All right. because I always want to keep these things as short and crisp as I can, so you guys can just get a couple, 2, 3 takeaways from these and then share that with others. So Life Enzyme, you guys, everything is all about that. Everything is important that we do, but I will tell you, everything starts with digestion. Digestion takes precedence pretty much over everything in the body. So once you eat and you're consuming food, look, that's what your body's going to focus on. It's going to focus on digestion before it starts doing other things. How do we get? A lot of people say, when I was mentioning earlier, these celebrities and athletes know the human body will perform when it doesn't have to slow itself down and focus on digestion, and when it's getting more fresh and living food, or when it's getting the support of these plant-based digestive enzymes, their food's process is breaking down, they're getting the energy they want from these foods. It's a much better situation. So these are the things that I just really want to reiterate to you. I want you to know that this is the product that put Tranont Health on the map. This was first and foremost. When we brought this health program to Tranont, Tylene and I, in these products, it was all about life, man, and the pudding demonstrations. So if you want to help yourself with health, do pudding demonstrations to help others, and that will help, obviously, the revenue. You guys have never seen any kind of pay plan like this. I have to throw this in, that Tranont is absolutely, they're just incredible to pay out a 50% commission on a bottle, instead of people having to buy thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, like when we used to sell big stores and gyms and doctors' offices, and sometimes tens of thousands of dollars for people to get 40% off or whatever it was. You guys, 50%, come on, man. It doesn't get any better than that. So thank you so much, Tranont, for not raising our price. Did you guys know we used to sell these enzymes oftentimes for a much higher price than what Tranont's retail price is? Not even the associate price. So that's super cool. We've had doctors who have sold these bottles up to $180 a bottle. A bottle. We've had stores like the Whole Foods of the world out there, right, David? Come on, man, right? In some of these stores out there, they would just, they're expensive. If you were to try something that came anywhere near as good of a formulation as what we do in the sourcing, you're going to be in that $60 to $80 range from everything that I continue to watch and look at and research almost all the time. So even if it's in the 50s, we're less, man, we're less. So take your Life Enzymes. Do not ever eat without it. It is so, so important. We've been doing this. I haven't eaten a meal in years without having these full spectrum plant enzymes. Stabilized probiotics, they're there. But remember, it really is about the enzymes. It is about your gut. Trust your gut. Your gut knows. Listen to your body. Gut health is everything. Everything starts in the gut. Where people used to laugh at us 10, 15 years ago, now people are like, hello, yes, we all know. Of course this is true now. And I like to joke that, you know, when Dr. Oz around 2014-ish or whenever it was said it was true, everyone started believing us more. It's all good. We don't care. We just want people to know what they can do to help themselves. You guys, have a great evening. Have a great night. Have the great rest of the month with Tranont. We got this 50% commission. We got all kinds of incentives going on. Just so many amazing things. I'm super excited. It's gotten better and better and better the past few years. I don't even know. I lose track of time that Tylene and I have been working with Mr. Craig Cotter and the owners of Tranont. Man, we're just grateful for them and what they have to bring to the table for everyone. And it is doing just this. Bottles don't talk. So basically, you get the money instead of Whole Foods. I don't know. Does that make sense? Because bottles don't talk and they sit on a shelf where you can share this information and you can sit there and do a simple little pudding demonstration. Peace out. You guys have an amazing night. Get ready for Thursday. I'm bringing the vibe. I'm going to go into vibe on Thursday. So you guys, hopefully you got something out of this tonight. Always message me if there's something more that I can do to help you in any way. So peace out. You guys have a great night.
Henry Cavill is apparently not one to mince words. In a recent interview with Men's Health, the actor and erstwhile Superman was asked about the 3 films in which he filled out Kal-El's famous cape. In responding, he admitted to feeling exactly like the rest of us do about Justice League. The DC movie universe has been on a roll for the last couple years or so. 2017's Wonder Woman was a critical and box office hit, and more recently, last year's Aquaman and this year's Joker have both cleared the billion-dollar mark at the worldwide box office while satisfying the fandom. Prior to their successes, though, the road was quite a bit rockier, and that rocky stretch included the entirety of Cavill's tenure as Big Blue. So far, anyway. 2013's Man of Steel led off the franchise, and while it performed respectively, it divided fans, many of whom were unprepared for writer David S. Goyer and director Zack Snyder's exceedingly dark